Welcome, everybody. It's a real joy and honor to be here with you. I've got a presentation that's very much an interactive presentation, so hopefully you're comfy. I'm going to invite you to have something to write on, so you might want to make some notes as we go through the different practices together. You will receive a handout that has this PowerPoint in it, so that is coming to you for your resources after the training. I'm just going to share my screen. So if you need to go to a place that's a little more comfortable, we will do a tiny little bit of movement, not a lot, but you want to definitely be comfortable as we go through this together. Where's my share screen? And there we go. And there's my share. So are we good? I hope everybody can see this screen. And I'm going to put it on the big one. There we go. Okay, so this is about empowering your inner calm. There is so much in life that, our jobs are very demanding, especially as caregivers. We are really putting it out there. Often we're last on the list of people to take care of, whether it's at work or whether it's with family. But so imperative to be able to take a few moments for self-care, to downregulate the nervous system, because that is our place of resilience, our place of healing, of recharging. But given what goes on in our lives, the pace of our lives, the complexity, everything that's going on in our world right now, it's hard to find that time to do these practices, do the nervous system regulation, to come into the place of inner strengthening, of calm, of healing. So it takes an intention, right? It really takes an intention. So this is why we're here together today, to explore different practices that you can intentionally weave into your day, wherever you can weave them in. And we'll talk about that. How to incorporate these practices. So they're not another thing on your list of things to do, but something that you can resource, you can go to as a little sanctuary, a little oasis in the midst of all that is unfolding and happening around you. So this is your time, right? This is your time. I'm going to, as Krista said, be sure you're comfortable with what I'm sharing. If it speaks to you, wonderful. If it doesn't, shape shift it so it does, or just listen and take in the information, really receive it as it feels best for you. And even as we complete our time together, if questions come up as you're doing these practices, feel free to reach out through Krista to me, and I'm happy to address anything that you are wondering about or want to unpack together. So let's begin. And let's begin by just taking a moment, check in, and let's have a starting point. So just notice how you're feeling today. And as you take a moment to notice how you are feeling, you can either just reflect on this inward or invite you to put it into the chat box. It can be really comforting and helpful to hear each other's voices. So just taking a moment. Notice how you're feeling. And then as we get some shares in the chat box, we'll just hear each other's voices.
Someone said pain in my neck. Other comments on feeling good.
Nice, nice. Yeah, pain can
Busy,
be.
flustered, tired and sore. Some grief, anxious, grounded, actually, which isn't the norm. Juggling a lot.
Beautiful. Thank you. Okay, thank you for sharing. It also helps me navigate which of these tools I will share, because there are quite a few. So I am pulling from the handout that you received. There's more practices in there than what we have time to share today. So I'm going to weave in the practices that are most meaningful based on what you just shared. So thank you. So let's start with a little grounding meditation to begin, a little breath work here. And that simply settle into your seat. You're welcome to lay down. If you are experiencing that neck pain, have something that your head can rest back on. So you might just move your chair against a wall or come to laying down. And the first thing that I want you to do is just simply notice your breath. Just simply notice your breath. It might be the cool air that's coming in your nostrils and the warm air that's going out. The cool air that's coming in and the warm air that's going out. Noticing your breath. In any moment, this brings us present. This is a pathway to grounding, to simply noticing your breath. And that cool air in and warm air out is often the most accessible. Now, sometimes we're feeling that strain in the body, the stress in the body, the achiness. And so we're just going to take a moment here to marry a little movement with the breath that can really help to release the tension, especially in neck and shoulders. We're going to go right there. A lot of us have that tension there. So wherever you're at in your breath rhythm, take an exhale. And then as you inhale, take your shoulders up towards your ears. They might not have far to go, right? Just take them up in that direction. And then as you exhale, roll them back and down. So it's a slow movement. Yeah, notice if you want to move quickly. Instead, inhaling up towards your ears. It's the slowness of the movement that helps to cultivate calm. Exhaling lower. And said, inhale, taking shoulders up to ears. And exhaling back and down. If you can move slower, if your breath rhythm is slower, please go for it. Taking a few more. The last one here. Shoulders up towards the ears. And back and down. And so as the shoulders come back and down, you might feel that there's a little more ease through the neck, a little more space through the neck. I want you to notice the support that you are on. And so feeling maybe what you're sitting on or what you're leaning back on, and just see, can you allow yourself to receive more support, to give into that support? You feel the gift of this leaning. If you're in a chair, most often we're sitting forward, even just leaning back, feel what this feels like to have the support behind you. And then as you feel the support, feel your feet on the earth, or if you're sitting, feel your sit bones on the earth. And then coming into your breath. Coming back home to your breath, perhaps the cool air coming in your nostrils. Air going out. The cool air coming in. And the warm air going out. And we'll take a moment. I apologize if you heard some barking there. I'm going to take a moment at the beginning of this time together that just to allow yourself to create an intention of what you want to experience today as we move through these nervous system regulation practices, as we cultivate an inner calm, ease. What will make this most meaningful for you? Yes. Nice. And now, as you are ready, I'm going to invite you just to check in how you are feeling. It was just like a couple of minutes. I'm doing a little down regulation. Notice how you are feeling now. And when you notice this, just take a moment to put it into the chat box so we can just check in and see how we are beginning to shift. How we're beginning to downregulate and what that might feel like.
I'm reading calm, clear, relaxed, and tired, warm inside, more present, feeling the neck and back tension from the movement, yawny and tired.
Hopefully a release of back and neck tension from the movement. I hope that's what that was indicating. There are other movements if there's another that's preferable. So you could put in the chat box if you need a different movement. But yeah, just a couple of minutes. So we're going to now explore a lot of different practices, because when we are in the stress state, sometimes, many times it's in the mind. So we have practices to help the mind quiet and clear. Often it's in the body, right? Because of the stress we carry in the body, the tensions. Sometimes it's in the heart. Somebody already mentioned carrying grief. And so how do we support ourselves to create a sense of peace within the experience of grief? Okay. So all of these practices, just to make mention, they're not to push any other experience that we're having away, right? It's to help us to go underneath all of those and to find an inner resource of calm, safe, of clarity, right? So to dive underneath all the other that is arising that we're aware of, that we stated at the beginning, to dive underneath that, okay? So we're going to keep diving in now. So powerful benefits, oof, so many benefits, regulating the nervous system. We've spoken about the clearing in the mind, sleep, right? Much better sleep when we are able to regulate the nervous system, especially if we do some practices before sleep. Sleep is meant to be that time of deep healing, rejuvenation, replenishing, restoring. But if we are stressed through our sleep, busy mind, for example, we will miss all of that. So some of these practices before sleep will be really helpful. Clarity improves memory. We feel happier, right? Greater sense of well-being, right? So many, many, many benefits, strengthening of immunity, our ability to connect with ourselves and with each other, right, is strengthened when we are calm and present. So, why do we want to regulate the nervous system? Why not be on go, go, go? We can get so much done. Our systems are not designed for that. They're designed to go, 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 and then to go into a relaxation state where we can replenish and restore. Okay. So it's like our foot is stuck on the gas pedal, right? And we're jamming it even when we're not going anywhere, right? And eventually we run out of gas and we can't go anywhere. We need to take that step back, right? Number one rule with any electronics, as my brother-in-law always tells me, if there's some problem with the computer, unplug it. Unplug it. He says, don't call me until you've unplugged it for 2 minutes. And the nervous system regulation practices are about, I would say, plugging in, right? Unplugging from everything around and plugging in. Okay, so the down regulation, really important. It's how we build our resilience as well, so that we can better manage everything around us. How do we do it? So there are practices that say we're going to go into the body a little bit more, so we can release the tension, the physical tension in the body. Tension in the body restricts the blood flow. We feel really tired, like some of you already mentioned, tired, because it takes a lot of energy to hold that tension in the body. So we really need to be able to let that go. The mindfulness meditations, really important, because over 70,000 thoughts in a day, and there's estimates of 60 to 90% that the thoughts are repeating, and like that hamster wheel. So being able to come out of that, we call the monkey mind, hamster mind, to feel some clarity, right? To feel some space between the thoughts. It's a really important, the body has a lymphatic system to clear toxins out of the physical body. The brain has a lymphatic system that clears neurotoxins out of the body, like really important for brain health. But we can only, the lymphatic system only activates when the mind is still as we're able to do it, right? As still as we're able to maintain it. So the mindfulness practice really important. And then we use breath, right? We've got lots of breath practices because breath is a really powerful tool, an accessible tool, right? Anytime, anywhere, we can use our breath as our resource. So it's a really potent, powerful tool for down-regulating the nervous system. So 3 pathways, right? We've got some movement, we've got relaxation poses, if that's available. Those are really nice before bed. Breath practices, and then the mindfulness. So let's start with the breath. And again, this is your most portable, best app ever, right? And no cost, right? It's with you everywhere you go. So in any moment, you'll see these. One of the beauties of the nervous system regulation practices is they are very simple. Yeah. The stress state is a very complex. There's so much going on as we navigate everything. There's a simplicity to the nervous system regulation practices that help us to downregulate. And so you'll experience this with the breath. So we're going to do this one together. This is called 4 square breathing. So this is a brilliant box breathing, you might know it as. This is brilliant for focusing the mind. So if there's been so much going on and you really can't focus, this will focus the mind and also create that clarity and calm through the focus. But the number one is any anxiety. Somebody mentioned anxiety. This is probably the most practiced breath for anxiety. So let's do this together. And I'm going to invite you at the end of it to write some notes. It's really nice to just do a little reflection. And then we can do a little share in the chat box as well so we can hear each other's voices. So again, just a few moments so you can get a little taste test of this. So we're going to exhale together. And then as I guide you, you'll see on the directions there, we're going to inhale and hold for 4 counts. And then we're going to exhale and hold for 4 counts, okay? And the focusing of the mind comes in that holding in or holding out. So let's take an exhale to begin. And then inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. In, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Out, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. In, 1, 2, 3. Doing great. 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Out, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last one. In, 1, 2, 3. You got it. 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Out, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Great job. Return to natural breath. And just notice as you are breathing naturally the shift. What do you notice? Perhaps more clarity, perhaps more presence. What do you notice? Write a little note, a little reflection. Share in the chat box so we can hear each other's experiences.
Someone says much calmer and focused.
Mm-hmm.
Someone said lightheaded. I find I was holding for too long.
Great, thank you for that. Yeah, so you can, the idea of the square, of course, is that you could go inhale 3. Like if that was too long, inhale for 3, hold for 3, or even 2, right? So follow what works best for you. Okay, with all of these practices, adapt them. But thank you. Yes, more calm, more clarity. So this first breath, really wonderful for focus. Now, this one, when everything's really heightened, this is the number one for down regulating really quickly. Because when we're stressed, we inhale a lot, right? Short, shallow breath. You know, and if you're talking to someone on the phone and they're stressed, right, you can hear the breath is short and shallow. Somebody once asked me if I taught yoga. It's like, why? It was just a random call. I think it was to tell us or somebody. Do you teach yoga? They say, oh gosh, yes. How do you know? And they say, because your breath is just so slow and right. So this long exhale, really nice for a really quick down regulation. And so what we're going to do is that we're going to do this breath together. I'm going to invite you as you inhale to say to yourself long, and then as you exhale, say to yourself calm, and I'm going to guide that breath to be really long, okay? And you can stop whenever it's most comfortable for you, but you'll feel the pulse of it, okay? So let's take an exhale to begin, and then inhale long. And exhale, calm, really long, slow, steady exhale. Inhale long. Exhale, calm, slow, steady, long exhale. 2 more. Inhale long. And you can even exhale through your mouth, even more effective to do this long, slow, steady exhale. And inhale long. This calm exhale, maybe through soft lips to really feel that long release of the breath. And do 2 more. Do 2 more and really feel like this beautiful soft wind is leaving your body. You can imagine whatever has stressed you is releasing from your body. Just for 1 more breath. Just letting it go, letting it go, letting it go. And then at the end of the exhale, return to your natural breath and just notice how it feels. Even just guiding you, I can feel the shift. And just make a note of how it feels or put in the chat box. It's really helpful to hear each other's experiences. The long exhale, using the words. How does that shift your experience?
Someone said that they found this a little harder. Someone else said that they loved it. So calm and still. Peace, gently grounded, sleepy.
Nice. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, sleepy. Most of us, do you need sleep? Most of us need sleep. So when we downregulate, sometimes we can feel that sleepiness. It can be hard to do this one. The hardest thing we do as human beings, is let go, right? Letting go is really hard. So it is really valuable to be able to lengthen out that exhale for an instant down regulation. So if you found it hard, I invite you to visit it, and just as long as your exhale is a little bit longer than your inhale, right? Even a half a beat longer, and then you will start to get more comfort with it and be able to lengthen out a little bit more. Okay, I hope that helps. So this one, I want to do this one with you because someone mentioned grief, and grief can be a really big unseen stress, right? We don't tend to talk about it, but we are showing up and we're caring for others, and we have this stress in our heart as we carry this grief. So what we want to do is not push that away, not ignore it, be aware of it. And then this heart-centered breathing helps us to go underneath it, right? to access a deeper place within. Okay. And so you can flavor this. We all have, our own beliefs around love and care and divinity or spirituality. So you can access this as it makes sense for you. I'm just going to guide you for a few moments in a general way, and then you can adapt it. Okay. So, and we're going to take one hand onto our belly, and this is just nice and grounding. So as you are breathing, I'm going to invite you to do some breath into your belly, right? If that's accessible, right? It might be a long way to go that deep, but even just placing your hand on your belly is going to invite your breath to flow a little more towards your belly. And so we want to breathe into the belly first. And then we bring the other hand up to your chest to heart center. And so as you are breathing, you're breathing first in to fill your belly and then up towards your chest, right? It's probably a bigger breath than you would normally take. You don't want to force it. You just want to invite the breath to flow belly and heart as best you can. But even just having the hands here is going to help more breath flow here and bring more awareness to heart center. Okay. And so what I'm going to invite you to do as you have this hand position or a position of hands is I want you to be aware of something that you love, right? It could be a place you imagine, a person, a divine being, whatever helps you connect to the energy of love. And when there's grief there, it can be harder to access, right? It can be harder to access. But you want to not push anything away and just simply connect to what is available. It could be a fur baby, right? It could be a fur baby nearby. All right, so just accessing. And then as you imagine it, the body has a response. So as you imagine that which you love, there may be a quality of this love that you want to connect to, a kindness, a care, an understanding. And notice any aspect of this that you feel in your body. So you might start to feel warmth. What really makes it powerful is when the image connects to the experience, the somatic experience in the body. All the love, the care that you share, there is an inner resourcing that is really, really important to dip into, especially when we're carrying any emotional stress. So for a few more moments, imagining what you love, perhaps identifying a quality of that that is most meaningful, and then connecting to a felt sense of that. However that lands for you, just for 2 more breaths. And then when you are ready, you can make a note. And please, it can take some courage sometimes to share, but it can be very powerful to hear each other's voices, especially in sharing support for emotional stress. How does this land for you?
Someone said comfort, more energy,
Mm.
relief, comfort, saying how much love they have for their daughter. They love to sit in that feeling.
Beautiful, beautiful,
First image was family, a warm hug.
beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, the beauty when we downregulate, when we hit the area that is most stressed, we do feel more energy because we're releasing that contraction that happens in a stress state. And there's a contraction, whether it's physical, mental, or emotional, right? So that is really lovely, feeling more energy. That's from coming into the space of the heart. I'm going to move through these other breath practices. They're in your handout. And we're going to shift now to a mindfulness meditation. Again, the mind, Einstein said it's hard to, we cannot, in fact, he said, we cannot shift our state from the state we're in. So we can't tell ourselves when we're aware we're stressed and our mind is racing and we say, okay, I gotta stop thinking about it. I gotta stop thinking about it. You know, or somebody says, you just relax already. And you're like, oh, so we need to intentionally go in and quiet the mind. So this is this is one of my favorites. Super, super simple. We're going to rub our palms together. If you're on the computer a lot, you have a lot of eye strain, this is really helpful. If you get headaches and migraines, really helpful. When you've got some nice heat in your palms, bring your palms to your face, and they could hover over your face or you could snuggle them in. But I want you to feel the warmth from your palms. Let all your attention be to the warmth from your palms. And this is very simple, but it is very powerful. I won't go into all of the science behind it at this point, but you can feel, right? You can feel the shifting, the nervous system down regulates. You might feel more the jaw opening, the tongue softening, little muscles around your eyes and lips softening. And just take 3 more breaths, and then we're just 1 minute of palming and just feel, right, the shift. Can be done in any moment. And just for 2 more breaths. And now, when you remove your hands, imagine the palms are still there as you bring them down, and just notice what effect this very simple practice has given you. And then make a note, or please give voice to it in the chat box. Palming.
Someone said the palming meditation is one that's resonated the best so far. Someone else said release jaw tension. So hard to describe, but same. So nice and peaceful. Releasing the tension.
Nice. Nice. Yeah. So especially for mental stress, eye strain, we carry a lot of tension in the face. So that's part of what happens there, is that we start to release that tension. And the way the nervous system works is when you release tension in one area, it moves through the whole body, right? Through the nervous system. So, okay, here's a favorite. Here's an absolute favorite. So blue sky meditation. What I'm going to invite you to do is, you can have your eyes open for any of this, but let them rest on something. If you can look out the window to the blue sky, that is lovely. So if your eyes are closed, I want you to imagine in your mind's eye a spacious blue sky. And sometimes imagining isn't available. And so we just we consider a spacious blue sky. As far, you could look left, right, up, down, as far as your inner eye can see, spacious blue sky. And then a thought comes up. Boom, a thought comes up. They will, it's normal. Imagine it as a cloud passing through the sky. Your breath is like a gentle wind that moves the cloud. And as the cloud passes, Awareness returns to gaze upon that expansive, open blue sky. Spacious, open. And then another thought, a distraction. Let it be a cloud. You can write a word on the cloud, make it be a color, a shape. Let that thought be a cloud that passes through the sky. Your breath, that soft wind, cloud passing. And then as it passes, return your awareness to the spaciousness of the sky. And just let your awareness take in that expansive blue sky. And then if another thought comes, no worries, no worries. There's the cloud. And it just passes, travels through the sky. And we bring our awareness back to that expansive, spacious, open sky. Almost as if you're laying on the grass in the summer and watching the sky and the clouds. Expansive, open skies for a few more breaths. Spacious, open sky. And as you're ready, as much as I would love to guide you for longer, as you are ready, making notes or sharing in the chat box, right? Using imagery, the imagery of the sky to help shift, to clear the mind. How was that for you?
Someone said, difficult for me to focus, but another person said, I feel more focused. It also feels more spacious around me now.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and my intention for you, my wish for you is that there's so many different practices. Which ones really land for you, right? So there's not, oh, I'm not doing this right or this one is wrong. It's does this work for me? Perfect. Yeah. So you can put in your little resource toolkit what does work well for you, and then let the other ones go, right? So yeah, thank you for that. So just trying to clear the mind, right? Opening up the mind, clearing the mind through blue sky. So now we're going to shift into body. And oh, this is a meditation. Sorry, I'm not going to guide it right now just because of time. But Yoga Nidra meditation is very powerful. This is in your handout. Somebody mentioned pain at the beginning. Pendulation meditation is powerful for easing pain, bringing pain relief. And so that one is also there in your handout. And again, if you need more resourcing or you have questions, feel free to reach out after the presentation through Carissa. So relaxation. I have put in your handout different restorative poses, right? And they're really nice to do before bed, okay? And they look like this, right? You might have seen them. Legs up the wall is a favorite, right? Just relaxing with some support. But what I'm going to guide you in right now is a body scan with a little bit of movement, because just as when we started together, doing a little bit of movement can help release the stress. Right? And so we're going to do a little bit of movement because some of you may be seated and some of you may be lying down. So we're going to do a little bit of movement, and then I'm going to guide you into the body scan, which is a really powerful down regulation because we're often not aware of where we are carrying the stress. So when we can move our awareness through the body in a more systematic way, we can help release what we haven't known is there, but it has been actually building up, causing more stress, elevated stress, right? And we get a chance to release that, okay? So we're going to do this together. getting comfy, and you might find by now you want to shift your body a little, or you do want to lie down, or now you want to sit up. So take a moment to take care of what feels right for you. And if you're choosing to have your eyes open, and let your eyes rest on something. So you might be gazing at a painting or something that's in front of you, a fur baby if one's nearby. If it's comfortable to have your eyes closed, and let your inner gaze be at your brow point, perhaps, or heart center, let your inner gaze rest on a point of focus. And so we're going to start at the head. And I'm going to invite you to drop your chin to your chest, and then just roll right ear to right shoulder. And drop your chin to your chest. And take left ear to left shoulder. I'm just going to go into these areas, drop chin to chest, where most of us carry tension. And the key with the down regulation movement is that it's very slow. You just continue going side to side. It's slow, it goes with your breath. So we're exhaling down at center, and then inhaling to one side, and exhaling down at center, and inhaling to the other side. And so continue. Ideally, you would do the rhythmic movement for a couple of minutes. Right? Because it's that rhythm. It's like rocking the baby, right? When the baby's upset and we're rocking, it takes a few moments for the nervous system to feel that calming feeling of rocking. And so just taking a few more moments side to side. So we're releasing tension through the neck. And then when your chin next comes to your chest, and let your head remain here. And we're going to take a moment, and as you inhale, we're going to squeeze the muscles of the face. And then exhale and release. So still working with the breath. This is the key with the down regulation movements. Inhaling, squeeze the muscles of your face, eyes and lips. And exhaling, soften. And then one more inhaling, giving a little squeeze, lips, tongue, eyes, forehead. Exhaling and release. And then gently floating your head back up to center. And now notice the sensations through your face and your neck. Just let your awareness, like shining a light inside, and just notice sensations. It can be helpful to name them: a tingling, a warmth, a softness, a throbbing, right? In the mind and body connection practices, there's no good or bad to it. We're just becoming aware of what we're experiencing in the body. And then as you are ready, now we're going to come into the arms and shoulders. So as you inhale, I'm going to invite you to take the arms up and back. And this can be really nice if you have tension through the chest and the shoulders. And then as you exhale, just cross your arms over your chest and hug the shoulders. And then inhale and open it up just to whatever degree feels good for you, right? You want it to feel good and repeatable. Exhale, folding in. And then inhale, opening up. And very simple. Exhale, folding in. And you can shape shift this to how it works for you. Like maybe you just want to open the hands and fold them back in. Maybe you want to really stretch, right? Find what feels good. The key is that whatever does feel right for you, that's what you repeat. Okay? And it's in that repetition And that the body starts to feel that calm, and in that calm starts to release the tensions. And I'm just taking one more flow here. And then as the arms come in, let them rest. And notice what it feels like now, what sensations you're aware of through your arms, through your torso, through shoulders, chest. And again, it could be helpful to name it. You might notice achy, you might notice ease. I do notice. And then we're going to move down the body. And so I'm going to invite you just to do a little bit of movement at the base of the spine. And so as you inhale, we're going to draw the chest forward and shoulders back and just have a little arch in the spine, whatever degree is comfortable. And then as you exhale, you're going to round. So just a little movement so we can come down towards the base of the spine. And then exhale and round. And then one more. You're going to arch. I'm noticing the time, so we're just going to do one more. And then we'll come to stillness. And then notice what it feels like now at the base of the spine, around the hips. And just naming what you are aware of. Tingling, pulse. And we're going to do one more. And I'm going to invite you to move your feet. So you could simply circle your ankles if you're lying down. If you're in seated, you could take your knees side to side. We just want to move the lower body in a rhythmic way. Yeah? So when you're ready, just starting to move the lower body, could be just the feet. It could be the knees side to side, just for a few more pulses. And then come to stillness and notice what you're experiencing, the somatic experience in your lower body. And then let your awareness fill your whole body, like filling a glass with water, fill your whole body. And what do you notice, right? This the aliveness here, maybe something that's calling your attention. There's a little more achiness somewhere. Maybe there's been some ease, some relief. The important part is the connection, so we're more aware of where we've been carrying tension, perhaps what our body needs. Yeah. So body scanning can take many different forms. I've blended for you the release, the relaxing movement with the scan, but you can do a dedicated scan, really nice before bed as well. You can do a hug and release. So many different ways to connect you into your body to release that tension in the body. And then, of course, we have the poses that rest in powerful to do relaxation poses, which you'll have in your handouts. Okay. So just looking at the time, I want to share these last little pieces with you, and then we'll open it up for questions. So if there's anything you'd like to ask about the movements or share about the movements, we could do it at that time. So when and where to do the NSR practices, right? Where you can, when you can, right? Number one, they're all adaptable. The breath practices especially. So some ideas, right, in the midst of work. Ideally, if you can weave them in where your environments are most stressful or where you are feeling the most stress, if you can weave in 1 or 2 minutes, that helps to down regulate instead of continuing to get more stressed. Social gatherings in bed, right? In bed before sleep. So sleep is more restorative. It can really be helpful to have a little practice, a little daily practice where you can really focus on the practices that are most meaningful for you and build up your ability to do them, your familiarity with them, and the sort of the neural pathway, we would say, of doing them so that you've got a template that you can resource through your day. Yeah, we want it to be like a daily, the nervous system works best by routine. So if you can weave it in as part of a healthcare practice, that's going to be most beneficial. So when you're in the midst of everything, we pause, we check in, like, what am I noticing? Just as we did at the beginning, how am I feeling, right? And then with an understanding of some of these practices and in practicing them together, what do I need? Do I need the practice for my mind, for my heart, for my body? Which one do I like doing? And then we do it, right? So I put 5 to 15 minutes. It could be 1 minute, right? A little dip down for inner resourcing so that as you step forward from there, then you feel calmer, more present. There's more resilience. Almost everything will work again and better if you unplug it for a few minutes, including you. So I want to open it up and really I'm very grateful to be able to share these practices with you. And let's open it up. Any questions you have in this moment or anything you'd like to share about those movement practices?
There was a couple questions in the chat box. One of them being, should these breaths be chest or belly breathing? What's the most effective?
Most effective, thank you for asking that. Most effective is belly breathing. So when we do diaphragmatic breathing, we're directly engaging the relaxation response, including the vagus nerve, the longest running nerve in the body, messages our whole body, our organs that we're going to relax. So belly breathing is optimal. That's why with heart-centered breathing, we start in the belly and then we come to the heart, because the stress and breath will be up in the chest. You'll notice that for yourself, right? That when we're stressed, right? So we want to cultivate, and that's in there as one of the practices. We didn't do that today, but it's in your handout. And just breathing in and out of the belly, that is the most powerful for engaging the relaxation.
I don't know if you can answer this one, but someone said they would love to know more about the science of the palming meditation.
Yeah. So a little bit about it. There is research that shows we have healing energy in our palms, right? So bringing this healing energy to the palms, of course, that is going to have its benefit. But primarily, when we're in the stress state, we are outer focused, right? We're dealing with everything around us. When we're in the relaxed state, our awareness is coming inward. That's why it's about presence. And so when you put your palms over your face, you are telling your nervous system, we're safe, we can go inward. So you are automatically disengaging from what has engaged your stress state, right? You're putting a pause on that. And in putting the pause on that, you're saying, okay, we can go inward, right? And so that does a really quick shift of the nervous system. I hope that makes sense. So stress state is outward focused, we're doing. The relaxed state, more inward focused, and ideally we're inner focused and present and able to navigate out there. But in the stress state, we're all out there. Everything is focused outward, not present within. So this helps us to come present within, so that as we come forward from the palming practice, it's like, I am downregulated, I'm calm, and now I'm going to engage from the inside out.
Someone says, can you recommend a free app or a YouTube video for a short, say, 15-minute practice?
Yeah, Insight Timer. So I have some practices on Insight Timer. They're wonderful. They're out of Australia. There's lots of free on there. I know people who use calm.com. So those apps are really helpful.